Much like how the Star Wars galaxy went through a period known as the Dark Times, the Star Wars franchise is doing the same.
Before the Dark Times.
Despite a massive revival in the form of TV shows, movies, comic books, and video games, the reception of this new Star Wars has, for the most part, been lackluster.
We don't even know what that means!
Whether the content is making changes to the lore, rehashing old ideas without introducing anything new, or simply relying on nostalgia to carry the momentum of the story. It's been rough out here for Star Wars fans.
I'm in the ghetto. Ra-ta-ta-ta.
While many have given up on the idea of Star Wars altogether and have resigned the franchise to death.
You've seen the movie?
Yeah.
What was your reaction? What was the face you made when the credits rolled? What was your face?
True Star Wars fans still care. We're waiting and hoping that the executives and producers get it right and that they're able to bring back the Star Wars we know and love. But why do true Star Wars fans care about a franchise that, in recent history, hasn't cared for them? How can you, watching this video, show your support for the galaxy far, far away? Well, for starters, many of these fans know exactly what Star Wars can be. They remember the first time they got hooked on the story and fell in love with the universe, whether it was seeing a movie or cartoon episode, playing with an action figure, or simply having a friend or family member introduce us to the story. There's something special about being introduced to the Star Wars galaxy and then finding out just how expansive it is. Whether you love comics, books, video games, television shows, or movies, there's so much content to explore. They know that Star Wars is capable of being an incredible space opera with epic stories of good versus evil, Jedi versus Sith, the oppressed versus tyranny, and they want those stories back. They want the lessons that those stories taught them back. Most of all, they want to feel excited again, and to have that excitement pay off with each new project. The very first Star Wars movie came out in 1977, and that was almost 50 years ago. Some of those young fans who went and saw Star Wars for the first time are still alive today and have been following the franchise since that fateful time in the theater. They've been consuming every bit of Star Wars media since, and that's a lot of time, energy, and money. While thousands of those fans have bitterly proclaimed that Star Wars is dead and have moved on, many more have remained and are clinging to the hope that Star Wars will become better, that this is just a low point, and that there are better times ahead. Heck, some of the super passionate fans have made full careers out of their love for Star Wars, and reporting on bad news is what they had to do in recent history.
Yeah, you suck.
True Star Wars fans have grown up with this amazing franchise, and they desperately want to see it succeed, no matter what failures have been released. They can't wait until Star Wars itself gets back on the right track and finally lets them feel joy about a new project again. The main reason why fans care so much about Star Wars is because it has a lot to explore. It's a massive faraway galaxy with thousands of individual stories, both large and small, taking place over centuries of characters and conflicts, from the more well-known clashes of the Clone War and Galactic Civil War to the chaos of the Hyperspace War and the Yuuzhan Vong invasion, from the split on Tython that created the Jedi and the Sith, to the rise of the new Jedi Order on Yavin 4. There's just so much to the Star Wars universe. And that's not even taking into account the thousands of fan projects and stories that fans have made to tell their own versions of the story.
You will suffer for your deceit. Answer for your failure to save her.
Even if someone chooses to start with Disney's canon version of events, there's still a lot of content. It can be fun to just pick something that looks interesting, because chances are it's connected to something else. And soon, you've gone down a rabbit hole of more entertaining and interesting stories, just like legions of true fans have done before. So, if you want another rabbit hole of Star Wars content, push that like button and subscribe button. As we stated in a previous video here on the channel, Star Wars lessons are timeless. At the end of the day, Star Wars is a fictional story.
This is a story of love and loss,
fathers and sons, and the foresight to retain international merchandising rights. This is the story of Star Wars.
But that story teaches lessons about good and evil, about fathers and sons, and about justice and redemption. At the end of the day, anyone could join the cause of the Jedi Knights or rebel heroes. And while we might not fight evil empires or legions of battle droids, we can all still fight the dark side and bring the light side into our own lives.
Good talk, son.
Talk, Dad.
Many fans hold on to that lesson and hold on to the hope that comes from Star Wars. The hope that one person doing the right thing can cause serious change. The hope that one person's actions can make the world better. The hope that redemption arcs are real. There are countless stories of fan campaigns bringing about real change to the medium of entertainment. Television shows have been uncancelled, new seasons and reboots have been ordered, and even movies have come out to wrap up cliffhangers or unresolved endings. Passionate fans and passionate actors have saved countless franchises that were thrown away or cancelled too soon. And while the quality of the return can certainly vary, they at least get to make a comeback. Star Wars has gotten its comeback with more movies, television shows, and other media. Now, it's time for the fans to keep up the pressure until Lucasfilm brings back the Star Wars we know and love. Passionate fans are the backbone of any franchise, and Star Wars is no exception to that rule. If Disney wants to have the fans adorn what they release, they have to return to the basics of telling good stories. Period.
Too velo. Period. Too velo.
Whether you're a casual fan or one of the people who has loved Star Wars since you were young, how do you show you care about a dying franchise? It's actually pretty easy and also much less work than you might think. Just enjoy Star Wars your way. This can mean watching the movies, rereading the books you fell in love with, or replaying the video games that immersed you in the Star Wars universe. It might mean exploring the Wikipedia page about your favorite character, or it can mean creating your own content to add to the world.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
As long as you're having fun, either alone or with others, you can show you care by having fun with it no matter what. That way, no matter what happens, you can smile and call yourself a true Star Wars fan. It can be hard to watch a dying franchise wither away while those in power do nothing to stop its decline. But despite all that, you can still enjoy Star Wars universe and remind yourself of what made it so special in the first place. That's what makes you a true fan. Make sure to check out what can make the biggest difference in making Star Wars worth watching again.